Welcome to the revolution. Left, right, center, all getting together to try to take our government back. We're doing it in a lot of different ways. So one of the ways is we want to stop funding Israel. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that today. I have amazing websites to show you that people created. Well, actually, one of them is about Israel. The other one is about corruption overall. But I want to ask you guys to do a bunch of things because I did, and you guys created amazing websites. Again, I'm going to show that to you in a minute. So we had a thought today about church cam. So there's a church in Gaza that had, I forget now if it's 700 or 800 Christians that were huddled up inside throughout the war. I don't know if they're still there because of the kind of ceasefire that has happened, kind of peace deal that has happened in Gaza. But I thought about putting a camera inside the church so people can see, because what Marjorie Taylor Greene was pointing out to Tucker Carlson, this story we covered earlier on the Young Turks, was, there's Christians in Gaza and Israel's been killing them too with their bombing, etc. And they bombed a church there. Some of you might have seen it. I wanted to show Americans the folks inside that church. And I thought, wouldn't it be amazing if there was a 24/7 church cam so you can see the church inside Gaza that is besieged? So now, again, the whole point of crowdsourcing here is, can we put it together? So how would we do that? Can someone look to see if they're still huddled in that church or if they've gone back home? I don't know if there's been a single report about that, but there might be. So can someone find that? If you find out that they're still there, or at least some people are still there, do they already have a video camera? Maybe they do. Maybe they stream and we don't even know it. But given the war, that seems unlikely. Is there a way we can get streaming there? Maybe it's as simple as an iPhone, or maybe that's totally impossible because it's in Gaza and it's devastated. But it would be, I think it would gather a lot of attention if there was a 24/7 camera inside a church that is besieged by Israel. And what people could do is they can go up to it and tell their stories, whether they're Christian, Muslim, or whoever else is taking refuge there. So, all right, internet, make it happen. Okay, make it so. All right, will that happen? I don't know, we'll find out. Well, you're thinking, well, Cenk, come on, you're gonna tell people to make things happen, or you guys are all gonna decide together, and it's going, well, kinda. So now let me tell you a bunch of things that have begun to happen. So we did an interview yesterday about Mohammed Ibrahim. He's a 15-year-old American kid from Florida, taken by the Israelis in the middle of the night. He's been in Israeli gulags for about 8 months. The big charge against him is that he saw some other kid throw a stone. Wow. So we're doing hashtag Free Our Child, and we're trying to send it to Marco Rubio. You see Marco Rubio's X handle there, Facebook handle there, and this fun little graphic we made. So I took a tweet, I'm not sure if it was one of yours or someone else's, and I retweeted it with hashtag Free Our Child, and it's doing pretty well. People are animated about it. So we've got a lot of friends in the right wing now. Obviously I'm on the left, but a lot of you now watching are on the right, and they're making the same case we are, which is, wait, why is the American government not trying to rescue that American kid? Imagine if Iran was like, yeah, Bobby or Mohammed or whatever his name might be, he saw someone else throwing a stone, so we put him in an Iranian gulag where he now has, I think his uncle said scabies, which is unbelievable. I didn't know that was still around, and has lost 30% of his weight. And so now not just the left, but a lot of the right saying, free our child. What do you mean the American government isn't going to help an American kid? That's insane. And this is not anywhere near. Guys, you remember the story I told you where some kid when I was young threw a rock at my head and I was bleeding from the head, and his mom comes out and goes, what did you do to my child? I'm like, he threw a rock at my head. So, but I remember that story today because they're like, oh, he threw a rock. And the Hasbara guys, the Hasbara trolls for Israel and stuff, on that post were like, oh, he could have killed somebody with that rock. Israel's dropping 2,000-pound bombs, killing dozens of civilians, children, etc. But you're worried about, so then I thought, wait, I actually was the victim of someone throwing a rock and hitting my head and splitting it open. So that's why I had that kid arrested, and he's been in a gulag ever since. No, we didn't even call the police. Like 8 months? 8 months in these in these prisons in Israel where they torture people. They recently returned dead bodies with obvious torture, almost rubbing it in their face. Yeah, if you get arrested, we're gonna torture you in these prisons. So no, hashtag free our child. Do it in any way that you can in your social media. If you can get to Marco Rubio, amazing, but it's, look, we're doing the best we can. We're trying to represent Americans. Marco Rubio mainly represents Israel, so I'd be shocked if he cares. Right? He's like, yeah, but you didn't give me $5 million like Larry Ellison did to one of my super PACs to 100% work for Israel. But anyway, but let's naively try to convince the American Secretary of State to work for Americans. Okay, so now let's go to the videos I've been promising you. So Arpan Bosmia said, hey, Cenk, this idea of showing the corruption, well, what if we created a website that showed all the senators and all the bills that they voted for and all the money that they've taken. And then we had you guys vote on a name in corruptionwatch.us. We got that URL. And then all of a sudden, Arpan just did it. So here's the website.
Hey guys, so this is the mobile version of the website. It's just working locally on my phone for right now, but I just wanted to show everybody. So I can search for a politician, do Cory Booker, hit search, select him, and then you'll see the same stuff pop up. The wheel, different pie chart, different slices of the pie. You can click on each one. Those are the biggest contributors, percentages, and again, the bills are down here. You can scroll down. You can filter by the bill, type of bill, and you can sort it by oldest or newest. So there's that. And then if we scroll back up, we can go to donor search. And let's say we type in Tesla search. Let's do, I have no idea who this person is. And then, yeah, you can see the donor, how much they contributed to what person and when. And there you go. So mobile version looks pretty good. Yeah, that's it. Just want to show it to y'all.
What in the world? How'd you do that? That's crazy. So Arpan just built this site overnight. It's like 80% of what we wanted. So it's not up yet. That's the mobile version, as he told you in that video. And then we're gonna have the web version in this. Now look, the last part's super important. You gotta be able to connect their votes with their donors. And so I don't know how we're gonna do that, but my guess is Arpan's gonna figure it out in about 13 seconds. So politicians, you better watch out. Okay, there's a new cop on the beat, okay? So, wow. I just can't believe that he did that and it's already ready. Now we're crowdsourcing. Oh my God, if we try to do that at TYT, I'm not saying anything, okay? But it would have taken a long time because it's really hard. But I know that there's beautiful, amazing, talented people out there. We just gotta work together. Once we work together, oh my God, if this thing took off and we had a lot of people working on this instead of however many people we had 1 million, ooh-wee, or more, I'm not sure there's anything we couldn't do. Now hold, we're not even done yet. Then Aaron Gustafsson joins, and he's thinking, you know what, I like that Kids of Gaza idea, but you know what, there's actually some kids in the West Bank, like the kid I was just talking about, Mohammed Ibrahim, kidnapped by the Israelis, and they won't let him go, and by the way, can't talk to his parents and stuff. So he's like, let's do kidsofpalestine.com instead. Great, no problem. And kidsofgaza.com also redirects to there now. So we also got that URL, it's up now. And so they started adding kids, and there they are. So then you click on, there's Mohammed Ibrahim. That's his picture, tells the story. And by the way, it shows you can actually share. For now, I think it's just emails. You could create a new profile, you could fill this out. Now, if we get this to enough Muslim Americans, Muslim American organizations, and some of you had an idea of reaching out to Palestine Children's Relief Fund, and we have reached out to them. We'll reach out to other groups and maybe they could start to fill these things in. And then we'll do fact checking as we go too. How are we gonna do that? I don't know. Arpam and Aaron are gonna figure it out. Or a new Arpam and Aaron and these amazing folks that are in the audience. So there's kidsofpalestine.com. It's begun, it already exists. You could go to that website and you can start looking through the kids. I don't know, I'm just blown away by how amazing you guys are. So if you're building something tangible like that, then you've got to communicate directly to our community director, which Aaron and Arpam have. And you do that by emailing hope@tyt.com. This comes out of Operation Hope. So hope@tyt.com. Now, meanwhile, people have been sending in ideas and we've got progress on those, and I wanted to add to the progress. I'm gonna tell you about that too, but hold. Now here comes Jeff Hurd, another American hero. No, I'm sorry, not Jeff Hurd. That's the representative, not a hero yet. James Margadent. So James is the American hero who's like, I just heard Representative Jeff Hurd on NPR. So why don't I reach out to him? So he does this. Representative Hurd had an interview on NPR this morning on October 22nd, where he was talking about the shutdown. When asked about the Republic solution to the impending health crisis, he had a number of suggestions, one of which included lowering drug prices. So I reached out to him via Facebook and Twitter. And this is what he wrote to him, I believe on Twitter, and on X. At Representative Jeff Hurd, I heard your NPR interview this morning. You talked about lower drug prices. I urge you to co-sponsor HR 3493, the Global Fairness in Drug Pricing Act. So guys, if you can, look at that handle, you could pause it there and go share that tweet. See, there he is, James, and sorry James, I got the same issue, but tough to pronounce your last name. And like it, share it, ask Representative Jeff Hurd, we heard you're in favor of lower drug prices, fantastic. By the way, we did this with Marjorie Taylor Greene and she said yes, and she co-sponsored. One of you guys, Sean, I believe, yesterday sent in a video of him politely asking Representative Debbie Dingell, who's a Democrat. And so I love it. Representative Marie Newman was on here and she said, go to the district office and ask them in person. If you need to, wait around for the congressman or wait around for a staffer that can make sure that they get what you're trying to tell them. And if you need to, we were kidding around, but kind of real. If they're not going to talk to you, you have every right to be in that district office. Go grab lunch and have it at the district office. Start to participate in democracy. That's what we're trying to do here. I love it. All right, you guys are even better than I imagined. So now, I mentioned the ideas part, and we're doing that at. So if you go to tyt.com/hope. That's going to give you a lot of the things that we're working on. There's the where you can submit the ideas. There's the lower drug prices bill there. We'll get Kids of Palestine up soon. When you click on the ideas one, that brings you to tyt.com/ideas. What we've started to do is filter up the top ideas based on likes and replies and different metrics that we're using, okay? So I was looking through those ideas and there was a bunch of good ones. So let's start with eclectic miscellanea. He said, create a list of TYT viewer accounts on X. So this is the Operation Hope page. This is when you click on ideas, it shows you those, that's the list of the top ideas. And then on the right is the link. You click on the link and it brings you to the part of the discussion board where that is. And what I want you to do is I want you to go there on the ideas that you like and build a movement within that post by replying to it. So I did it a couple of times today. I'm gonna show you that in a sec. But first, let's go to Eclectic's idea. Create a list of TYT viewer accounts on X, etc., who are actively participating in Operation Hope actions. I can definitely help, but it's probably more effective if it's a list on TYT's account. It'll make it easier to follow fellow Hope-hopers, it's a new fun word, or phrase, and retweet/reply to their posts to amplify them. For example, if there are 50 accounts on the list, I could follow them and repost their actions and vice versa. Okay, that's a great idea for organizing. Now, again, I'm not the tech guy, so I'm not sure how you form that group. So find Eclectic's idea at tyt.com/ideas. And if you know, or you could also put it in the chat, you could also email us, etc. But begin to communicate with one another. If you know how to set up groups on X, on Instagram, on TikTok, and can use those groups to amplify these messages, it would make a world of difference. Because we can start with 50 and work our way up to 500, 5,000, 5 million, and then that could have enormous social media impact. But you're gonna need to, again, help me with the tech on how do we set up a group? How do we all work together on those platforms? If we solve that one, that will be huge, because folks listen to social media, especially when there's big movements in social media. So love it, Eclectic, way to go. So Brandjan then had an idea to boost content creators putting out aligned messaging. So this one's got challenges too, but let's roll through this one. They say, since Israel's paying content creators to spread their propaganda, why can't we boost good content creators to counter? Like TYT says often, following, liking, sharing costs nothing but helps tremendously. Why can't we vet out and crowdsource a database of some informative content creators that are doing the good work of keeping us informed on certain topics and help them out with simple boost of our viewership, which also supports their efforts in meaningful ways? So before I get to the rest of his message, so look, I've been trying to organize folks on the left for a long time, and it has been a challenge, okay? As I've told you before, hard to get the groups to work together, and you usually have to say, this is what's in it for you. But if we're amplifying their message, I hope they'll take yes for an answer. So it's too hard to just, okay, all right, they come on the Young Turks, we say, okay, they are working on this, and then the next guy, we've tried that already. It doesn't create enough momentum, right? But maybe we can create enough momentum if we, again, organize groups on social media, then we find the people that are doing good work, bring them together. So how are we going to bring them together? I don't know. That's why you should find Brandjan's idea on tyt.com/ideas, go in the reply section and begin to help us figure out how do we do that. So let me continue with his message, and then I want to give an idea about that. Well, he gives an example. So one content creator that comes to mind is a guy that goes by Nico, stalking the Capitol on TikTok. He rates members of Congress by how they raise their campaign funds, how much stock they own, etc. I'm not sure about his metrics or sources, but he seems to be spot on with TYT's assessments of the same people in Congress. Also, his videos start out with, is your member of Congress a piece of crap? Let's find out. I already like it. Anyway, I feel the TYT community has a lot of similar resources they would gladly share to spread the love to the content creators they appreciate and find value in. This could be categories and specific to certain topics. For example, Nico being related to getting money out of politics as well. Okay, so Brandjan, that last part triggered an idea for me. I should have put it in the reply section, but others will start to do that. So first of all, let's note for the record, for all the other groups and shows that attack us, we're the one set of guys who are constantly trying to help the other groups and other shows, etc. So in this case, maybe we start to create categories. So we have a money out of politics category, again at tyt.com/ideas, and there you say, okay, here's the money out of politics group, and this brother Nico, which by the way, already you're doing good work, because I didn't know about Nico, now I know. So Nico's doing good work on money out of politics. Who else is? Wolfpack is, Represent Us is, those are groups. American Promise, I believe, is another good group that is doing it. But also I'm sure shows care about it. Young Turks cares a lot about money in politics. It's our #1 issue, so we'd go in that category. I'm sure there are shows that care a lot about Gaza, so Dave Smith's show, Glenn Greenwald's show, etc. And then the second layer of that, after we list the shows and groups, will be, okay, now let's brainstorm about how to put them together. Again, if all this stuff begins to work, and it is beginning to work, maybe we create miracles here. All right, so, and the way to do that is not through us, but through you guys. So now, somebody had a question, DV Valaza, about chanting Free Palestine. So I had said, hey, we should do this at music events and sporting events. We should all chant throughout the country, free, free Palestine, and get attention. That's a good way to get attention, because there's a lot of people sympathetic to it, and cameras everywhere at these events. And if it started getting publicized, which I think that if you got some big loud chants at sporting events and rock concerts or any kind of concert, imagine at the Philharmonic or at the ballet or the opera, they start chanting "Free, free Palestine." It would be amazing. And it would go all over media. So they wrote in, Cenk made a comment the other day about chanting "Free Palestine" at every sporting event. How do we get that trend started? I'm not a student, but I go to many D1 basketball games. The student section has so much energy. I would love to see that happen. By the way, great ideas. At college games, you're likely to get very loud chants and very good. And then of course, Elise Stefanik will call together congressional hearings to call you all anti-Semites. But good news, you can't arrest a stadium full of people. Okay, which one did it? They all did it. Anyways, every time the stadium is silent before the national anthem, I just want to scream, "Free Palestine." Of course, I'm way too scared to do that. The past 2 seasons, I was hoping athletes would take a knee for the cause. Since our country was supplying most of the weapons that destroyed Gaza, that would make me proud. Okay, so then I wrote in the reply section, as I'm telling you guys, you're right. My suggestion is too vague. So let me propose a specific time. Your point about the national anthem triggered the idea for me. You can't do it before the anthem because if it crosses over into the anthem, people will be pissed and it'll be counterproductive. So how about we do it right after the applause for the anthem? Make sure the anthem is finished, let people have a moment to applaud as they usually do, and then immediately start chanting "Free, free Palestine." Let them hear you in Jerusalem, in Tel Aviv, in Washington, and in Gaza. Let's try it. I mean, especially if you've got 3 or 4 people going to a game, and then especially if you think people around you might be sympathetic and you talk to them, but you don't, look, brother, you could be one person and try and see if it takes off. But if you get a little bit of, and especially if you got a group though, and you all do it, then it's more likely to take off. And once the first one takes off, boom, the whole country's gonna be doing it. And then you're gonna say, that was my idea, and you're right, it was. Okay, or at least we put it together, right? God, I love it. So if that starts happening, guys, we're gonna go nuts. It's gonna be like, it's gonna be amazing. Because then it shows that it can be done. And then we'll do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing until they stop using our money to commit genocides, any country. In this case, it just happens to be Israel. All right, Cicero then had another idea that I also replied to. Trying to outspend the donor class is the wrong strategy, they wrote in. We should follow Sun Tzu. We need to recruit religious leaders to preach about not falling for political advertising or turning to social media to validate our opinions. The latter keeps people stuck in the 2-party paradigm. And he said, I went ahead and uploaded a video on my YouTube channel where I believe I do have a Christian audience asking about approaching church leaders to talk about political advertising. Basically just an invitation for them to share their thoughts in the comments, but it's my attempt to solicit ideas from people who are religious. Okay, love it. And then they say, I'd encourage anyone else who has a public platform to do the same or just talk to someone you know personally who's religious unless someone has a better strategy to get something like that started. And again, Cicero, your idea triggered an idea for me. Okay. Oh, by the way, kidsofpalestine.com, boom, it's already up on tyt.com/hope. I said it'd be up, and apparently with this campaign, things happen instantaneously. So if you want to go to kidsofpalestine.com, you can get it through tyt.com/hope, which is our central base. Anyway, so Cicero writes in with this idea about religion. And it reminded me of an idea that I had that it then forced me to think about it more. And I wrote this back in the reply section. I think we should ask Muslim Americans to go to their local churches and make connections with others in the community. Tell them you're coming first. You want to attend church on Sunday with them. Tell them that Jesus Christ is a holy prophet in Islam. So can we have people reach out to their local imam if they're a Muslim American and suggest that they lead this effort? So now, if you're not a Muslim American and you don't go to a mosque, then this is going to be very difficult for you. It's not that pertinent to you. If you're a rando that walks in and goes, hey, you Muslims, you should go and meet with the Christians. Actually, that might work, but still, I get that's awkward. But number one, if you're a Muslim American out there that regularly goes to a mosque, please try it. talk to your imam and see if he's interested in taking a group of you guys and telling the pastor or the reverend or whoever it might be, hey, we want to come by and visit, and then mingle with folks and say we want to meet and maybe do religious events together. I know religious leaders meet already sometimes, but it'd be great if Muslim Americans and Christian Americans, and then of course all religious groups, mingled more. And instead of viewing things in such a tribal lens and so much division and hatred, wouldn't it be amazing if we started to bring people together? So, and then if it begins to work, by the way, oh, that's interesting. Cara just wrote, it's happening in Omaha with a group called Interfaith, which is a good model. Okay, great, all right. But then maybe we should reach out to Interfaith and say, hey, can we, if you're already doing it and you've got video of it or pictures of it, maybe a picnic that Christians and Muslims had together celebrating America, send that in, and so we could use it as a model for others. And maybe we could take it to other Muslim groups as well and ask them to do it, or ask them to help in finding the imams who might be able to do it, etc. So Jen Stenson, only a couple of more comments, and I got to go and do the interview with Lieutenant Colonel Aguilar, who I could have actually kind of done in this segment as well. He's the hero who was the whistleblower in Gaza. I'm gonna go to that in a minute, but I wanted to just answer this question. Jen Stenson wrote in on Super Chat. Hi, Cenk, sorry I missed it, but how can I donate to crowdsourcing/Children of Gaza? So right now there is no donations. So we're not doing that yet. But if it turns out we need some resources to put something together, then we'll be enormously transparent about it, and maybe we'll set up, a crowdfunding for that. But for now, there is no donation yet. Everybody's doing this on a volunteer basis. But Jen, you're beautiful for asking. Appreciate it. Boxy Brown 6900 on YouTube member section says have an interfaith summit. Sometimes they do that already, but I really, really want the actual parishioners and the people going to church and mosque and temple and etc. to mingle with each other. Because guys, one of the issues is that because the media drives so much division and hatred, a lot of people don't even know that Muslim Americans are just like you. Of course. But you've got to know each other first before you realize that relatively obvious conclusion. And NorCal Girl said, I heard Ro Khanna has been reaching out to content creators on TikTok. I saw a video about it. Yeah, he's great about that, and he's great about the social media. Okay, so look, there's a lot more comments, but we're out of time for today. Love it, let's keep it going. Tomorrow I'm off, but we're back on Monday. And by Monday, who knows, maybe we might have changed the world already. So keep going, guys. I love you, and I love this peaceful, nonviolent, democratic revolution. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.